Well, hello. This is probably one of the scariest things I've done. Putting my voice out here, putting my thoughts out here. My voice mostly, because obviously in my own head I sound pretty awesome. But when my ears hear me, I understand other things about me, I guess. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. I sound different to myself. I thought I was much cooler than this. But yeah, it's been about a week plus since half the American voters apparently elected Putin. I mean, yeah, they elected Putin's sidekick, basically. A tyrant, a baby dictator, an authoritarian, a con man, an international thug. Half the American voters elected that into the Oval Office. And I have to admit, I'm still sort of licking my wounds. It hurt a lot. It's gonna hurt a lot more too, but it hurt a lot. I cried for about 3 days straight. Then I would cry on and off for the next 2 days. I downed a good amount of ice cream, and I mean real ice cream too, not like the Carb Smart ice cream. Like, I ate a lot of chocolate ice cream. It's been a rough week. I slept under the bed. I didn't even sleep on the bed. I slept under the bed. Yeah, the ice cream gorging started on election night, right about the time that I knew Pennsylvania was gonna be lost. So honestly, when I saw Georgia went pretty quickly. When I saw that, I kind of had a sinking feeling. And throughout the night, I mean, I could tell Pennsylvania was not coming back. It was basically over then. So the next 4 years, if there is a God, please help us. We need you now. Like reveal yourself immediately, God, because this is what everybody's been warning about for, I guess, the last 10 years. I mean, people have been warning about this moment, and currently at this moment, nothing has really happened. We're just kind of seeing all the chaos playing out on our screens. I mean, look what's happening in the news right now. Like, it's only been a week and he's not even in office yet, and it's already absolute chaos. I mean, I can't get over that. Why did the Democrats lose? People point to a lot of different reasons, but honestly, I really think that it's kind of pretty simple. I think it's just because of the overwhelming right-wing ecosphere that half the American population is absorbed in. I mean, like, literally half of the American population is literally living in an alternate reality. Like, they are not on this planet with us. They're basically in outer space already, on Mars, and they think that we should all go there. Like, I think it's pretty much that simple, which, you know, how it got that way, I think that that's more of a conversation to be had, but I think that it really boils down to that. Let's put it this way. If this right-wing ecosphere echo chamber did not exist, I don't think that Trump would even be on the ballot, okay? I mean, of course, bigotry and racism are essentially some of the main components of the right-wing, far right-wing manosphere ecosystem. Like, that is part of the foundation. Bigotry, racism. Another thing that I think is part of the foundation of definitely MAGA. And I mean, MAGA is the right wing now. There is no right wing anymore. It's just MAGA, which is an extremist movement. So the foundation of MAGA and MAGA world and this far right wing and right wing ecosystem, it's all the same thing to me right now. That's what it is. Another foundational pillar of this extremist movement is cruelty. And cruelty is something that I think I'll be talking about a lot. I just have a feeling I will anyways. I learn a lot through stories, so that's one of the things I'll tell. Small story tonight. You know, I've got a lot of stories, and so do you. Honestly, I feel like I have so many crazy stories sometimes, and I want to tell them. I get all excited. But honestly, when I listen to other people's stories, I'm like, damn, I really don't have any crazy stories at all in comparison. You know, I would love to hear, and I do love to hear people's honest, crazy life stories. You know, you can learn a lot. I use my experiences and others' experiences to kind of aid myself in trying to understand the world we live in, as foggy and chaotic as it is, and as it seems. You know, experiences, people's past and present experiences. So that means history, and for history that often means books, you know, reading and listening to other people, and to stories. A lot of stories. You know, I might be wrong about kind of the way I see the world right now. Like, I almost see the world almost like a puzzle, and I don't know what kind of puzzle it is or what I'm trying to solve, but like, I'm just continuously opening doors, and I guess I'm trying to find something. I don't know, but that I think would basically explain, like, on a basic level, my insatiable desire for knowledge and understanding of a variety of topics, including largely politics. I guess I'm trying to solve something. I'm looking for something, and it's interesting. Honestly, I wonder what the Google brain knows with all this data that we're feeding it. everybody's pictures, everyday life. They pretty much know everybody's life, like especially children today, from the time that they're babies till when they die. I mean, they have like every day categorized. I can't imagine what the Google Brain team has done with that data and the things that they've been able to figure out. I know one of the things that the Google Brain knows is how to manipulate us. Information is our world. Like, our world is made up of information. If all you hear is this right-wing and far right-wing talking points, that becomes your world. And it's unfortunate, honestly. Because it's unfortunate because people don't even know where they're getting their talking points or their ideas from. They don't know that they're listening to right-wing media. I think a lot of people don't really know that. They just trust what they're listening to. You know, while people, they don't trust their neighbors, they don't trust the people they see pull into their driveways every day, they do seem to extend that trust to a lot of commentators and billionaires, which is odd. I mean, obviously, maybe you have a reason to not trust your neighbor. Like, a good reason. But there are probably like 100 more reasons why you should give the people who have your ear another look over. At least 100 more reasons. Well, sometimes I just gotta give it to you straight. And this will be an undiluted truth, coined by Ted Koppel. The undiluted truth is that we are in an information war. An intense one, with foreign governments like Russia, China, and Iran, mostly. And this information war has changed our society significantly. And I feel like it's at an accelerating pace too. Like, I feel like we have, like, are we reaching a climactic point of this info war? It feels fast paced to me. One of the main goals of information war is to destroy social cohesion, essentially make neighbors hate each other, make people not care about one another, to get people to uncharacteristically adopt these antisocial attitudes about their fellow citizens and family members. As long as I'm making money, I don't care. That disturbing line is something that I've heard recently, a few times actually, basically said in almost the same way, by males, mostly males. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, to be fair, the field that I work in, it's mostly men, so you know, the majority of my working day is spent around men, so you know, these are where I hear these things said openly with their head held high. The story about that, basically, I mean, I was at work, you know, I had my headphones in and I was listening to our baby dictator's cabinet picks. It's just, nothing is shocking to me right now, but every once in a while it all sinks in for a few seconds and I might just get a sinking feeling or audibly say, like, we're so fucked. But that's not a defeatist attitude. It's just I'm trying to just be realistic about the situation. Like, it's bad, you know? And so I guess I said it, you know, what we were doing, it was really loud and I didn't really think anybody heard me. But my coworker asked me what, and I just shook my head and I said, like, you know, this is an actual living nightmare. And there were two men and me there. And one guy said, it's not that bad. I don't really care anyways because there's nothing we can do about it. Which is something that I often hear too. Like, I'm sorry, I do not believe that at all either. I don't care how many times people say that. I will never believe it. People change things all the time. I mean, Trump is changing our entire system. You know, obviously with a lot of help, but I'm saying, like, we're human beings too. We can affect things. We can create change. I mean, you could sit me in a room and tell me that a million times. I will never believe it. What they're really saying is what's required to change things are too hard or incomprehensible, so I give up. Like, that's literally actually what I hear. But I didn't say that to him. I said, just like, look at the chaos. It's only been a week, you know, like, you just wait till they start rounding up immigrants and inevitably citizens too. And one of the guys said, you know, well, they shoulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda did it legally, shoulda came here legally. And the other guy said, as long as I'm making money, I don't care. Disgusting. Then the other guy just like laughed and was like, hell yeah, you know. They might as well high five. Like, that was the dynamic. So, you know, they were feeding off of each other. They were feeding off of each other's, like, blatant disregard and cruelty to, like, actual human beings. And might I say, like, their own people, really. Like, these are two Hispanic men. How did, all these Hispanics and Latinos, why did they vote for Trump? It's just so perplexing. We don't understand. Again, it's this right-wing media ecosphere. There's a girl that I knew, and she speaks Spanish, and she did like community organizing and stuff like that. And what she told me, this was like 3 years ago too. She told me that there are 6, I think that was the number she told me. She said there are 6 Spanish radio network shows or whatever here, like talk radio shows. She said, and she's like, they're all owned by the same guy. It's all right-wing Spanish-speaking media, you know. So that's why they voted for Trump. Like, I really think it's that simple. I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I mean, that doesn't count for nothing. Our world is information. Across all platforms, they're hearing the same thing. I say right-wing, but I mean, it's really far right-wing talking points. The guy that said shoulda, coulda, woulda told me the other day that his dad had immigrated to the US and it took his dad years and so many thousands of dollars to become legal, and so that's why everybody should have to do it that way too. Basically, it was so hard for my dad, so it should be that hard for everyone else. Now, I've never immigrated to America from another country, and I'm not going to pretend like I know the exact process of how it all works, but I do know that our immigration system is completely shattered. It wouldn't be hard for me to imagine that it's almost impossible for like the average person to become a legal citizen in America in a timely manner without being here technically illegally for at least a few days. Right, Elon? Like, you're not going to be legal until you find like the correct back door to walk through, basically. Elon Musk knows what I'm talking about. Things were hard for me, so that's why things should pretty much be hard for you. That's a common justification that I hear among certain people. It's a poor justification. It's just cruelty for the sake of being cruel. That's honestly how I feel. But cruelty is kind of a defining feature of MAGA and the manosphere, and I think that maybe it's like a critical component to adopt these certain attitudes. Also because, I mean, so many of the policies and the attitudes, policies that MAGA and the Heritage Foundation have in store for us, and frankly Putin, I mean, the things that they want to do to this country, policies that they want to enact are downright cruel. So why not make it cool? Let's create a space where cruelty is celebrated and congratulated and worn as a badge of honor. Welcome to the manosphere. Because honestly, I think that it's totally fine to not care about anyone or anything as long as you're making money. Like that, everybody doesn't feel the same way about everything. I totally understand that. I mean, even if I don't believe someone when they say that, like I kind of like only halfway believe somebody when they say that sometimes. I think it's just really odd to like be so open and proud of it, to like advertise that attitude and then to like be congratulated for it. I think that's like there's something wrong. It doesn't feel right to me. It made me uncomfortable, honestly. As long as I'm making money, I don't care. That's literally something that like Elon Musk would say, and probably does say like every day. It makes me feel so many different things, but disgust mostly. And honestly, I feel alone, really, when I hear stuff like that. I don't know why it makes me feel that way, but I feel alone. I feel like I can't have this person's back, and they definitely won't have mine. And I mean, I honestly, maybe I think that that's the point, because I don't want to feel that way. Like, I don't want to not respect that person for saying that, you know? Because again, I know people have different life experiences, and that's how the cookie crumbled maybe and in your life, and so now you're that way, you know? Like, I'm not better than that person because they feel that way. I don't think that at all. And again, I only halfway believe some people when they say that, because it just seems so unnatural to me. Or maybe they truly do feel like that, but it's hard for me to really believe it all the time. I feel like this is an attitude that like many young men have just adopted. It's like a way to show their masculinity and their dominance by pretending that they don't care about anyone or anything. I don't know. These are just my opinions, and I guess I'm wondering if anybody else has heard any other people talking like this. Anyways, I've got a lot of stories, and so do you. Take care.